This meeting is being recorded.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारस्वन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ प्रज्ञानां सुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पुनरपि तृषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विविधविषयान् प्राश्य भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पश्चाश्चान्यान् स्वमिति विभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेतान् पुनरपि शनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणः पात्वसौ नस्तुरीयः Mandukya is the smallest of the Upanishads. However, it is said, Mandukya mevalam mumukshunam vimuktaye. It is a complete study of the subject matter. In fact, there is an ekadeshatvam. Generally, other Upanishads, if you see, there is not only the Brahma Bodha, but there is also Karya Brahma Upasana. In every Upanishad, you will find certain Karya Brahma Upasanas mentioned. If you take Taittiriya Upanishad, the first chapter talks about many Upasanas. Similarly, Brihadaranyaka, Chandogya, all these Upanishads, they have Karya Brahma Upasana. Karya Brahma as in, with all the name and form, the Srishta Jagat, it asks the sadhaka to do certain upasanas, certain superimpositions using the mind in order for Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Naishalya and increase your qualification to gain this jnanam. Certain upasanas are prescribed in various Upanishads. However, in Mandukya Upanishad, there is no discussion or prescription of upasana or anything. It directly deals with the subject matter, which is the Brahmavastu. Also, we saw that in Mandukya Upanishad, the Srishta Jagat is used to arrive at what is Brahman, what is the Karanam. Therefore, we defined it as Srishta Drishtivada. So, the Srishta Jagat, the created world that it is available to you, the world that is available to you, you as a Drik, Pramata, the knower of the Jagat, the experiencer of the Jagat, you are having a certain experience. Through this window, which is your body as an Upadhi, through this window, you are having an experience, which is what is called Jagat. This experience includes an experience of you as an individual, the experience of the world which is around, and a certain creation and destruction. All that is being experienced. As a Pramata, you are experiencing all this. What is the content of this experience? What is the reality of the experience? What is the nature of this experience? Is what is used, looked at to show what is Brahman. That is one type of one methodology. Srishta Jagat is used, the known, what is known to you, what is seen by you, is used to show what is that the reality in it. Like we saw, the Shakagra Chandra Darshana Nyaya, where for a person to be shown where the moon is or where the star is, moon is easily visible typically, or third day moon, or fourth day moon. Generally, fourth day moon is not suggested to be seen. So third day moon is good to see. So the third day moon is a small crescent. How do you spot it? So you use the shaka, the branch which is closer to you, because you are already seeing the branch. You don't need to be shown where the branch is. But from that branch of the tree, you can be taken to the crescent. Therefore, Shakagra is used to show where the moon is. What is the moon? Similarly, the Drishta Jagat, the experience that you are undergoing, that is there all the time. And that experience is used as a starting point to show what is Brahman. And that is the prakriya which is used. So we saw that. The other thing we saw, Mandukya Upanishad is not what we are studying. It is Mandukya Karika Prakaranas. And the Upanishad Vakyas, which are in the Agama Prakarana, they are embedded into the Agama Prakarana. Agama itself means Veda. This Veda Agama Prakarana, the verses or the Rik from Atharvana Veda are studied as part of Agama Prakarana of Mandukya Karika, which was written by Gaudapada. Gaudapada has picked up the essence of the Mandukya Upanishad and has written 4 prakaranas: Agama Prakarana, Vaitatya Prakarana, Advaita Prakarana, Alata Shanti Prakarana. Like that, 4 prakaranas, 4 parts of Karika he has written, in which the Agama Prakarana is where he is dealing with what is there directly in the Upanishad. And then in the other 3, he does further exploration. We already saw that. Vitatha means what is not in the original way. Nithyatvam is what is discussed in the 2nd chapter. The 3rd chapter is Advaitam. Why is it Advayam? What is Advayam? And finally, the Alata Shanti, the Chitta Spandana. Whatever you see is spin of consciousness. Kidvilasam. Like that, 4 chapters he has written on this subject based on whatever is presented in the Upanishad. He does an independent work on it. That is what is the overall subject matter, the text which has been picked up for Vyakhyana by Bhashyakara. Therefore, it is both an Upanishad Bhashya and a Vyakhyana on Mandukya Karika. So we need to be very clear. And for that reason only, Bhashyakara Shankaracharya has also written 2 important verses. You wouldn't find so many verses written by Bhashyakara in other Bhashyas. In fact, here he at the end also he writes 3 or 4 verses. Beginning he has written his verses. So he has a little bit more liberty because this is a Vyakhyana of a poetic work of Gaudapada. Because it's all poem. Unlike Upanishads, Upanishad is text, right? It is prose. Whereas Karika is a poem. It has a chandas, meter. So because of it is in this format, there are some very good shlokas that Bhashyakara has written. And we already saw some of this. It is not only a prayer that he has written, but Bhashyakara has also introduced the subject matter in a concise way, yet in a kind of comprehensive fashion, right? Covering everything. It is typically said Acharya's work is Prasanna Gambhiryam, right? It looks simple, it is elegant, it is easy to read. At the same time, it has high import. It has the Gambhiryam in it. That is why so many tikas and sub-tikas and others have written on Shankaracharya's work. Because it lends itself to a deeper analysis. But it also makes up for a very easy reading. That is the thing, no? When somebody is an expert in any field, they make it appear so simple, isn't it? Like we see in movie actors, just some facial expression is good enough to convey what some 5 minutes of dialogues need to convey. It all depends on the skill. Like musicians, right? They can, classical musicians, for example, within few minutes, somebody can bring out the raga swarupa rather than labor on it for like 20 minutes and 25 minutes. You will find some musicians just bring it out in very short times. Because that's what Lakshana Vidwan they call. It is part of them. So it comes out so simply. The gist of it comes out, and then you can always get into deeper aspects of each one part of it, right? Similarly, Bhashyakara gives a very subtle, at the same time comprehensive import of the whole Karika in these two verses. One of them we have already seen, Prajnanam Shupratanaihi Sthira Chara Nikara Vyapibihi Vyapya Lokan Bhuktva Bhogan Stavishtan Punarapi Dishana Udbhasitan Kamajanyan Pitva Sarvan Viseshan Swapiti Madhura Bhuk Mayaya Bhojayannaha Maya Sankhya Turiyam Param Amritam Ajam Brahma Yat Tannatosmi. It is the Brahma Vastu which is the experiencer. The Pramata is Brahman. It is Amritam Brahma. It is the one without any change. The change is death. Undergoing change means it is anything which changes is going to die. In fact, the change itself is death. Because the moment it has changed, it means what? The earlier shape and form and nature is already gone. So the changeless is Brahma, Amritam, Ajam. Therefore, it is unborn. Because birth means is a change. Anything born has to change. Everything which is born changes. Birth itself is a change. Death is a change. Amritam Ajam Brahma, that which is changeless, which is birthless. That Brahman Natosmi, I remain saluted. What is that Brahman? Turiyam. It is beyond the three states of experience. The three states of experience are waken, dream, and deep sleep. And these states of experience are also changing. In waken, every second things are changing. Every microseconds things are changing. Change is the only constant. Dream is also constantly changing. That which is changing every microsecond is what is dream. Then only you are seeing a dream. Otherwise, you are in deep sleep. The deep sleep, you don't see any change, but all the change is in unmanifest form. Because as an experiencer, you are being clouded by tamas. But beyond all this, three states of experience, two states of experience where you experience change, the third state where you are fully clouded by tamas. Beyond these three states of experience is what you are. That is the Brahma, Turiyam. But he calls it as Maya Sankhya, the count of four. It is called the fourth one. Turiyam means Chaturiyam. The as though fourth state. In fact, it is beyond all states. That's why it is Maya Sankhya. You can't count it as four. In fact, the count is only one. That is the only one. Everything else is dependent on this. this Turiya Vastu. That Turiyam Brahma Ajam Amritam Yet Tan Natosmi. I remain saluted to that Brahma because I am Jiva, ignorant, limited, incapable beyond a certain limit. Limited knowledge, limited Shakti, limited memory, limited presence, limited shape, limited in time, limited in happiness, limited in strength. This limited Jiva, when this limited Jiva is looking at the Sarvavyapi, Sarvantaratma, Sarva Shaktiman, that is Brahma, and because of which the Jiva exists, the Satta Spurti is given to this Jiva by that Brahman. The very existence of this Jiva is on that Brahma, and because of which this Jiva's happiness is derived, the Jiva's existence is derived, the Jiva's knowledge is derived, that which provides grace, that which provides Satta, the very existence, that which provides the Spurti, the ability to see the world, is all being provided by that Brahma. Therefore, I remain saluted. Natosmi. And what is this Brahman? Mayaya Bhojayannaha. It is the one which is consuming this world experience. All the three states of experience is being consumed in the form of these jivas by the same Brahma. And what are these consumptions? Prajnanam Shupratanaihi Sthiracharanikarabhyapibihi Vyapya Lokan. The experienced world also is made available because the Brahma is the one which is giving the prajnana. Therefore, prajnana amshupratani, the kirana of the rays of awareness, consciousness, is the one which is exhibited as this jagat. Sthirachara nigara vyapibihi vyapya lokan. The world of waken is provisioned for you by this Brahma. That is Ishvara. The Virat that is available to you is provided by Ishvara only. The world is given to you to experience. And that provisioning is done by Ishvara. Therefore, prajnanam shupratanaihi sthiratara nikaravyapibhihi vyapya lokan. And that is being bhuktva by this jiva, the pramata. And that pramata is Brahma. Bhuktva bhogan stavishtan. The stulataman bhogan, all this tangible physical worldly experience that is available for the waken, that is consumed, eaten, stavishtan punarapi bhogan bhuktva, eating, this jiva is eating it. This upadhi is given, things of consumption is given, and the ability to consume is given. And the consumer is Brahman. Bhuktva bhogan stavishtan punarapi. Not only in the waken it is consuming, eating, but this jiva is also drinking in the dream because Dishana udbhasitan kamaji, because of my wants and anger and all that is where the dream is. The dream brings out only my anger, wants and all that, right? Whatever I am indifferent to generally may not come in the dream because it is driven by your motivation, your likes and dislikes. Therefore, kamajanyan, because what keeps occupying you in the waken, that is what comes in dream also. the portion of vacant which obsesses you. Therefore, Kamajanyan Deshana Udvas, that experience also is drunk by the same Brahman in the form of Jiva. Pitva Sarvan Viseshan Sopiti Madhurabhuk. After having resolved all those differences, all those nuances of waken and deep dream, without any of these Sarvan Viseshan Vigataha, resolving all that, Madhura book, the one that is drinking the nectar of deep sleep, all that is so basically what is in the form of Jiva, what is in the form of Jagat, manifested Jagat, is both this Brahma. And as Jiva, I am prostrated to that Ishvara, that Brahma, Natosmi. This was the first shloka. So the whole Srishti is presented in the form of wake and dream and deep sleep. And the Srishti is shown as Brahman. The Jiva is also shown as Brahman. And that Jiveshwara Aikya is brought out in that shloka. Now let's look at the next one. Yo Vishwatma Vividha Vishayan. There is a Pata Beda. Vidhija Vishayan Prashya Bhogan Stavishtan Paschaschanyan Swamati Vibhavan Jyotisha Svena Sukshman Sarvanyetan Punarapi Shanaihi Swatmani Stapayitva Hitva Sarvan Viseshan Vigata Gunaganaha Patvasau Nasturiyaha Turiyaha Naha Patu. May the Turiya protect us. This is a prayer. That is, the earlier one is a prostration, Natosmi. Here, Patu Asau Nasturiyaha, may it protect us. This Turiya, it is said in Pullinga, masculine. The last one was neuter, Brahma Natosmi. Here it is said in masculine because the prayer is, may it protect us. Asmakam Patu. What? Turiyaha. This Turiya Brahman, this Atma. Instead of Brahman, we have to say Atma here, Pullinga. Turiyaha Patu. May it protect. Again, what does this verse say? Yo Vishwatma Vividha Vishayan Prasya. He having eaten the world which is Nana Jagat, Stavishtan, Stula Taman, Paschascha Anyan, Swamati Vibhavan, Jyotisha, Svena Sukshman. So, Swamati Vibhavan, whatever is spun by one's own mind, that Jyoti, Sarvanetan Punaripi Shanaihi Swatmani Stapayitva, all this is here having established in oneself during the deep sleep. Hitva Sarvan Viseshan Vigata Gunaganaha Patvasaunas Turiyaha. That Turiya may it protect. Now there is one question here. Isn't it the same thing which was said in the previous verse? So there is an objection. It's a Punarukti. Repeat. Which is a dosha. In Shastra, you cannot have a dosha. If there is a dosha, then they won't read it. You should not read. Doshavat Shastram cannot be read. Punarukti is a dosha. Same thing you can't tell twice. Same. What is the point in repeating this same thing again? Is there a difference in these two verses? This is the question. That is where we say these are, even though this Vishwa, Taijasa and all that, which is like the wake and dream and deep sleep are the same. But see the last line. Hitva sarvan viseshan vigata guna ganaha turiyaha naha patu. Here it is talking about nirgunatvam vigata guna ganaha. In the earlier one, it wasn't guna vihinatvam. It is Brahman which is sarvavyapi. But here it is turiyaha which is vigata guna ganaha. Nirguna Brahma, turiya is what is spoken about. Therefore, there is a difference between the two. Sarvan Viseshan Vigataha, devoid of all qualifications. That is why it is called Nisheda Mukha. In Vidhi Mukha, it is a positive attribution of Jagat Karanatvam to Brahman. In Nisheda Mukha, it is talking about Brahman as Vigata Gunaganaha, because the Mandukya Karika is going to end with things like Nantah Prajnam, Na Bahish Prajnam, Na Ubhayata Prajnam, Na Prajnam, Na Prajnanaganam, Ekatma Pratyasaram. Like that, it will talk about Brahman, this Vastu, as neither conscious nor unconscious nor biconscious, nor is it the conscious whole. Like that, it will keep any kind of attribute. Neti, 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 neti. Any one attribute that you can cognize cannot be Brahman, because the attributes are known through this cognition, and the attributelessness is the one which is objectifying. Therefore, this, all that which you can see as an attribute is not Brahman. Therefore, neti, neti, neti is a way the Brahman is revealed. Here also, Nisheda Mukha, Vigata Guna Ganaha. Vigata Guna Ganaha Patu. Naha Patu. Vigata Guna Ganaha. Without any of this guna, whatever is there as Turiya Brahma, may it protect us. Yaha, just 1 second, somebody is frenetically calling me. Hello. Vigata Gunaganaha Patu. But therefore, there is a difference. The same Vishwatma, the same Taijasatma, the same Prajnaha, These are three words, okay? Vishwa Taijasa Prajnaha. The Jiva, when he is experiencing the vacant world, is called Vishwa. And if he is experiencing the dream world, is called Taijasa. And when he is experiencing the deep sleep, is called Prajnaha. The same three, Vishwa Taijasa Prajna, is seen as the Sarvavyapi Jagat part. That is the first verse. Vidimukha. The same Vishwataijasa Prajna, when seen devoid of all attributes, that is Nirguna. That is why there is a Saguna Brahma and Nirguna Brahma. There is Karya Jagat, there is Karana Jagat. This is where people get confused. All the other Siddhantavadis, every one of them, whether it is Advaiti, Visishta, Advaiti, Sankhya, Bauddha, they all get confused because on one side you are saying Brahman is Nirgunam, another side you are saying there is a Guru, there is a Shishya, there is a teaching, there is Karma, there is a Pinda Pradhana, there is after death, there is birth cycle. But you are saying everything is Nirgunam. How is it possible? That is where they have a problem. Because Paramarthika and Vyavaharika are not understood. See these two verses very beautifully. The first one is looking at the whole thing as Ishvara because it is Karya Jagat. Everything is Ishvara. As a Jagat, it is all Ishvara because even with attributes, it is one. That is Ishvara. The second verse is there is one, there is no attribute because that is a Paramartha Satyam. Where is the attribute? Everything is Brahman. The attributeness has no independent existence. Then how can you say, when I say there is part, the moment I dismiss the clay, take out the clay, where is the part? When I am touching the part, I am touching the clay. When I am seeing the part, I am seeing the clay. When the part wasn't there, there was clay. When the part will be broken, there will be clay. And when there is part, there is only clay. Because the weight of the part is weight of the clay. There is no substantive called part. The substantive is only clay. No. Part is a quality of clay. You can say, no. If it is a quality, whenever I see clay, I should be seeing the part in it. But I don't see that. In my understanding of clay, there is no part. My understanding of clay is only clay. There is no part. So part cannot be an attribute of clay. No, part is sitting on clay. How can it sit on clay? If it sits, then what is it? How is it connected? How is the part and clay connected? Tarkika says there is a sambandha between them called Samavaya Sambandha. There is part as an entity, clay is an entity, and then they are connected through a Samavaya Sambandha. Oh, Samavaya, how is that Samavaya connected to the part is the question. There is another Samavaya. Then you will have infinite regression. Therefore, part as an entity cannot be established. The only entity which is establishable in that context is clay. Similarly, when you look at this Jagat, other than the Chaitanya Brahma Vastu, nothing else is establishable. Therefore, Vigata Gunaganaha Turiyaha. Because it is Turiya and is Pullinga, he says Patu. May it protect. Protect by what? By giving this knowledge, by revealing itself to me. That's how it can protect. Otherwise, if it is Ishvara, who is a karta, all the attributes are there, then you can say patu. But here nirguna, how can it protect? So the knowledge protects by revealing itself. Asmakam mumukshun jignasun patu rakshatu. Okay. Now there is one more dosha which is there in this shloka. Before we see details of the shloka, there is one more dosha. This doshavatvam has to be removed before we can progress. What dosha? If you look at this verse, every verse is always a meter. Meter means chandas, like Anushtup, Trishtup and all that. Anushtup means 8 syllables should be there in every quarter. Prajnanam Shupratanaihi Stira Chara Nikara Vya Pibhir Vyapya Lokan. 21, right? Then Bhuktva Bhogansta Vishtan Punarapidhishanodbhasitan Kama Janyan. Again, so you have to count the vowels. So 21. See the next one. Pitva Sarvan Viseshan Sopiti Madhura Bhung Maya Bhojayan Naha. 21. Maya Sankhya Turiyam Parama Mritam Majam Brahma Yattan Natosmi. 21. So all 4 lines have 21 vowels. Right? Let's look at this one. So all 4 has same number. Here let's see. Yo Vishwatma Vividha Vishayan Prashya Bhogansta Vishtan. 17. Paschacha Anyan Swamati Vibhavan Jyoti Shasve Na Paschanyan Swamati Vibhavan Jyotishasve Na Sukshman. 17. Sarvanetan Punarapi Shanai Swatmani Stapayitva. 17. Look at the 4th line, interesting. Hitva Sarvan Viseshan Vigata Guna Ganaf Patva Sau. 17 already over. Nastu Riyaha. 21. So this shloka doesn't follow rule. Chandas rule is an objection. Chandas means meter. So grammatically, this text is flawed. Flawed text we should not study. There are 3 types of vrittas that is possible. Vritta means this chandas. In chandas, 3 vritta are possible. Samavritta. Samavritta means every quarter, 4 quarters are there, no, in this poem. That is called a pada. Pada means a quarter. So every pada should have same number of syllables. Then it is called samavritta, like Anushtup. 8 syllables are there. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. Bhagavad Gita. Anushtup chandas, 8 syllables. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinnati naropara. Like that is Trishtup chandas. Like say it will have same number of syllables in every pada. This is a meter called samavritta. Equal syllables, equal vowels in each of the pada. Then second category is called Ardha Samavritta. Another type of poems where the first pada and the third pada will have same number of syllables. But they will be different from second pada and fourth pada. Second and fourth will also have same number of syllables amongst themselves, but different from first and third. That is called Ardha Samavritta. That is also allowed. The third is called Vishama Vritta. There is no Samavritta. Vishama means without Sama. So this Vishama Vritta means all four padas will have different number of syllables. One pada will have 8, another will have 11, another will have 13, something like that. That is Vishama Vritta. That is also okay. But here it is different. The first 3 lines have 17 syllables. 3 padas have 17 syllables, 17 vowels. Fourth one has 21. So there is a chandas called Atyashti chandas. Atyashti chandas is a Samavritta chandas, where 17 letters, 17 vowels are there in each of the pada. But this doesn't follow the Atyashti chandas because the last pada has 21 syllables. So it is not following the Chando Lakshana. So it is a Doshavat Sloka. No. There is a fourth type of Vritta which is called as Gatha. Gatha means you are free to do it with the fourth pada has 21 syllables. It's a very rare kind of chandas, Chando Lakshana. But the question is, why? He could have done Atyashti chandas. Shankara is not like somebody who cannot create a shloka which is all 17. He has done so many. Why did he pick this up? Because the fourth line is talking about Turiya. And Turiya is distinct from all the other 3. The waken, the dream, the sleep, deep sleep are same levels of reality. Whereas Turiya, the fourth one, is not the same. Atyatishtat dashangulam. It is a notch above everything else because it is Satyam. Everything else is Mithya. To show that, Bhashyakara elongates the fourth line to 21 vowels. Everything else is 17. Fourth is 21 because it is Brahma. It is Turiya. It is Satyam. Like this thumb. This thumb is distinct from the other 4. It stands separate, but it lends strength to all the 4. Without it, it doesn't need to bend. It just stands. Everything else bend. But it is the thumb which gives strength to the 4. Like that, Ishvara lends to everything else. And the Ahankara Jiva when it comes, bends itself to this Ishvara, that is Jiveshwara Aikya, leaving aside Deha Prana Antakarana, Sattva Rajas Tama, Atma Mano Buddhi, whatever three you take, Sohamasmi, this is called Chinmudra. This Ishvara is the one which makes it complete. It is because of this Ishvara that everything else have its strength, but it stands aside, aloof, by itself. Therefore, this Turiya is devoid of all the guna, like this Chinmudra. It is, Ishvara is devoid of all this. But then these have their strength because of this. It lends itself to this Jagat. But it is free from all that. Therefore, Vigata Gunaganaha, Aparokshaha. So may it protect. Asman Patu, Rakshatu. Swatma Prakashanena Patu. By revealing itself, may this Turiyatma protect us. Samsara Bhayat Patu. Protect means what? From this Bhaya. Vividha Vishayan Prasya Bhogan Vigata Gunaganaha Patu. Yo Vishwatma Vividha Vishayan Prasya. Let's finish this quickly. This Vishwatma, this Vishwa. Vishwa means, this Tikagara says, Yaha Upanishatsu Vaishwanaraha Atma iti Prasiddhaha Sayeva Karikasu Vishwatma Vishwarupena Vartamanaha Vividha Vishayan Savishtan Bhogan Nana Rupa Bhogan. This in Upanishad, what is called as Vaishwanaraha is mentioned in Karika as Vishwatma. Therefore, Shankaracharya uses Vishwatma Vividha Vishayan Prasya. So, eating all these varieties of things, Tavishtan, Stulataman, all these we saw in the previous verse itself. Paschascha Anyan Swamati Vibhavan Jyotisha Swena Sukshma. Swamati, one's own mind created dreams. Also, drinking Sarvan Etan Punarapi Shanehi Swatmani Stapayitva. That is unmanifest. In deep sleep, everything becomes unmanifest. Bija Rupam. In seed form, it is there, because when you wake up again, it all comes back. But by itself, Sarvan Viseshan Vigataha, devoid of all attributes. That Turiyaha Nahapatu. May that protect. Vishwa enjoys the Stula Prapancha because it is the complete Upadhi. Karya Upadhi is totally available. As a Jiva, the vacant person is the complete person. There is nothing limited. In dream, only subtle elements are there. There is no physical counterpart. If there is a mountain in dream, it is only subtle mountain. There is no tangible mountain. Therefore, it is not a complete Jiva. But as a Jnatri Jnana Jnaya Beda, it is the same. There is an experiencer, there is an experienced, there is an experience. So In that sense, the dream and waken are not very different. Whereas in deep sleep, none of these is there. It is alupta. So, but turiya is none of these three. It is alupta drik, because all these are never there in it, is what is turiya. It is not there in deep sleep, but it is never there in turiya, because it is alupta drik. It is untouched. It sees without seeing, and it is always there. Aluptam, never absent. Whether you close the eyes, open the eyes, it is always there, because it is vigata gunaganaha. But it is unborn, unmanifest. Therefore, it is ajatihi. It is never born. It is not given to birth. It is kutastha chaitanyam. It is because of which everything else is there. Every experience is an experience because of the chaitanatvam that is lent by the Swarupa. Therefore, that is turiyaha, that may that protect us, patu. So with these two shlokas, which are prayers, one is prostration, other is a prayer, may it protect us. We will also make this prayer that may this study be fruitful and be complete as we go through this in the next few months. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.